Hi everyone, thanks so much for coming to the very last session of the conference. I appreciate you taking the time to come and learn a bit about mobile real-time bidding, and I hope some of the things that we can talk about today can help you go out and start doing mobile, or start doing mobile better if you're already doing mobile. Just a quick show of hands, how many people here are buying mobile in some capacity right now? Okay, and is anybody buying on any DSPs in a real-time bidding fashion? Okay, good, just so I know the amount of detail to go into. So, actually I'll tell you about myself. I've been working in mobile for about 3 years, and buying a lot of media on different ad networks, and about a year ago, or a year and a half ago, started building a DSP, and in that year I've learned a lot about real-time bidding and interesting ways to use real-time bidding, and especially for performance marketers. There's definitely, I guess, tips and tricks that can really help you out when using real-time bidding. I come from a performance marketing background. For years and years and years I've been doing performance-based marketing. So everything that I do is always from a conversion standpoint, thinking about conversion, thinking about optimization. And on real-time bidding, that's sort of the beauty of real-time bidding compared to a regular ad network, is the ability to hyper-target. And I guess just as a precursor to the talk, one of the ways to easily explain the benefits of real-time bidding is if you've ever bought regular media, web media, or done any kind of online media buy. One of the classic challenges when you're buying from ad networks is that you buy a bunch of media, you run your analytics, and you find a pocket of traffic that doesn't work for you, but then you can't do anything about it. Or on the flip side, you find a great pocket of traffic that works really well for you, and you want more of it, but you can't do anything about it. The ad network doesn't have that level of granularity in their optimization features. So you find a particular site or a particular IP or ISP that doesn't work for you. A lot of the ad networks don't have that little button in their interface to take that poor performing traffic out of your mix. And that's the real value. To me, that's why I got into real-time bidding, was because for the first time it allows for super targeted, super flexible optimization. So just to give you a summary a little bit, because I know people get confused with DSPs, SSPs, ad exchanges, and how they all fit together. But essentially, real-time bidding is using a demand-side platform, which is an interface that looks just like an ad network. It is an ad network. It's the platform that you log into and choose all of your targeting, just like everybody has probably done on some sort of media buy before. And that DSP is connected to the traffic from an SSP. So an SSP is a supply-side platform, and everybody knows lots of those, like Google and Mopub and Smoto are two large ones in the mobile space. Some of the demand-side platforms, they come in different shapes and forms. SiteScout is a really popular one. They're one of the first that moved into mobile. GoToMobi, the company that I founded, is a self-serve DSP, and JumpTap even on their back end, even though it doesn't appear to be a DSP, they are a DSP. When you're buying from JumpTap, a lot of the inventory that you're buying is actually from real-time bidding. So a couple of the things, there's a lot of companies popping up now that are DSPs and marketing themselves as DSPs, but there are definitely some that will work for performance marketing and some that are more geared towards brand type buying, and they're excellent for that, but may not be the best choice for a performance marketer. So some things to look for. I recommend trying a few. They all have different features. Some of them focus on geolocation type granularity. Other ones will focus on granularity of carrier targeting. So you can target specific wireless carriers, which works really well if you're, say, a mobile content advertiser, which does quite well on RTB. And other ones have features like retargeting, which can have some interesting plays for performance marketers as well. So really you want to log in and check out the feature set. Some DSPs are very basic. Some of them have tons and tons of things that you can choose. Obviously, the more granular you can get is probably the one that a performance marketer is going to do the best with when they can choose a lot of targeting right off the bat. Then the real benefit and beauty of RTB is once the traffic is rolling in, what can you do with it? So it's all about finding ultra granular pockets of traffic. So RTB is the way that the impressions come through. There's a lot of data about where that impression is coming from, what type of phone it's on, the carrier that it's on, and that kind of thing. Like I said before, if you can't take that data and actually do something about it, you're not going to be able to optimize your campaigns. You're not going to be able to make performance type stuff work. So I would recommend always looking at a few DSPs and finding the one that allows you to optimize on the parameters that you need. That could change by campaign. But it allows you to optimize on those parameters really easily without having to sort of pull a pocket of traffic that works for you out and set up another campaign for that. You're just, if you've done media buys before, you know you end up with a million campaigns. There are some DSPs that really easily allow you to just run one campaign and change your bids and whitelist and blacklist on very granular data points. So a couple tips and tricks that will help you out because RTB is very, the traffic ecosystem is huge. There's a ton of traffic out there. You know, a lot of the DSPs are tapped into Google, which is obviously a ton of traffic. MoPub is huge, Smodel is huge. There's a lot of impressions. You do need to, I would say, be a little more careful than at some other ad networks about blowing your budget really quick. So it's nice if the DSP has some sort of safeguards and features in place to help you do that. And some of them are spend caps. So some of the RTBs will allow you to specify a spend cap on a placement basis. So if you've ever done a media buy before, you spend $1,000 and sometimes $400 of it comes from one site ID. And that site ID isn't a good performing site for you. You know, you really didn't need to spend anywhere close to $400 to figure that out, but there was no other option but to do that. So on some of the DSPs, you can specify, I want to spend $1,000, but I don't want to spend any more than $5 or $10 or whatever, you know, kind of campaign you're running on one given placement. And what that allows you to do is take your initial $1,000 of testing money and spread it over a lot of sites so that your data that you're collecting is more, it's better data. In general, when you're setting up your campaigns, you want to use that sort of feature to limit impression burners. You also want to make sure, though, that you are getting enough from each place. So if you have a campaign that's a $5 CPA, you can't just spend $3 or $4 or really even $5 on every placement or on every carrier that you've targeted. You sort of need to, I recommend spending about 2 to 3 times your CPA on each sort of combination of parameters. So sometimes that's not possible. You obviously cannot blast your campaign out and try 2 to 3 times your CPA on 80,000 different sites. So that might mean limiting your campaigns a little bit to different categories or different carriers or phones that you sort of, hypothesize might be the best ones, and sort of try it on those first and slowly grow your campaign out. So to go back and talk about the granularity, on RTB, one of the beauties is you don't have to just blacklist. So on other ad networks, if they're nice enough to allow you even to turn off, let's say, a bad site that you're getting in your traffic, or a bad carrier or a bad device, which some ad networks let you do and some ad networks don't, normally if they do give you that option, it's either on or off. So you blacklist that site and now you stop getting traffic from it completely. Well, the beauty of RTB is that you can run a report and see which sites are working for you, and you'll start to see sites that are they're having conversions. They're making 70% of their money back, so they're not totally useless to you. On a regular ad network, you'd have to turn it off. On RTB, you can just put your bid down to what it is worth to you. So it's all about putting your bids down to what they're worth on every single sort of, I think of it as single impressions coming through, and you're setting a bid on the parameters that are coming through for every single impression. So what that allows you to do is obviously you're not turning off as much traffic, you're just turning the bid down, and your volume will obviously drop because you're not bidding as much. But if an impression comes through at that price that you've specified will work for you, you still get to take it, and that happens a lot. That's actually one of the, I guess, the main things. I've seen some DSPs that don't allow you to do that, and from my experience, that's one of the things that really helps make RTB work for performance is really granular bid changes. So for those of you who haven't purchased much mobile in general, I thought I'd talk a little bit about mobile tracking platforms. So those are platforms outside of the DSP, generally that you would run your traffic through no matter where it's coming from. If it's coming from any type of ad network, including DSPs, and some of the popular ones that maybe some of you know are MobAF Tracker and iMobiTrax. And the benefit of those tracking platforms is that, of these particular ones, is that they're mobilized. Very important if you're using a web-based tracking platform. It's probably not going to work for you. You need one that has the mobile-specific parameters in it, things like carrier on a very good carrier detection, so that when you run your traffic through there, it will tell you if it's T-Mobile, Verizon, or whatever. That's really important. Devices down to a very granular level. Is it an Android, Samsung, Galaxy S4 with OS version 4.0 on it? Those types of things become very, very valuable optimization points on mobile. So you want to sort of look at those tracking platforms and figure out which one you think is the best. These are both pretty good. Yes, so that's very important. I wouldn't recommend trying mobile without one of these things. It's very unlikely that you're going to get lucky and start a campaign that doesn't require that type of optimization. So other options, some DSPs have a mobile tracking platform built right into them. Those are really good for affiliates. You can sort of fire your postbacks or your pixels directly into the ad network, and some of them have a really good tracking platform that will tell you this traffic that you're buying. The benefit of doing that is when you're using a third party, or I guess when you're using two platforms, the ad network that you're buying the media from and another platform for the tracking, if both of those platforms are using different recognition software. So you're buying the you're going in and you're choosing, I want T-Mobile traffic in the ad network. And then that traffic's coming through your tracker, and that tracker is using a different detection software. It's not that accurate, actually, in a lot of cases. It may be telling you that it's Verizon, or that it's some subsidiary of T-Mobile, or there's all sorts of stuff that happens. So if that traffic started doing well for you or was poor for you, and you identified that in your tracking platform, you couldn't go and change things in the ad network because the name doesn't match up. But if you can find a DSP that has all of that built in, all of the naming conventions and everything will be the same, and you'll just have an easier time optimizing. Yeah, so that's really it. If there's any questions, if I could ask people to stand up at the microphone, please. They've asked everybody to head up there.
Hi, I have two questions. First one is, all the recommendations you made, does your platform have all those things, the tracking built in and all that stuff?
It does have a tracking platform built in, absolutely. It's a really granular one. Yeah, most of those things our platform has. There are some of the geolocation stuff we haven't added in yet, but we are going to be adding that in. Some of the geo stuff works for performance, but you can't do that in our self-serve right now.
Okay, and what about, do you guys by any chance work with any of the smaller data management platforms? Or if I want to append third-party data into my bidding strategy, do you have an API to build something out for that? Or
we can do that right now. We have integration with the ability to integrate with third parties. It's not in our self-serve platform, but it's on our managed service. So we have a self-serve platform and a managed side, and we can tap into data platforms like Blue Kai and that kind of thing, and you can do that absolutely. We are adding as well that to the self-serve as well, which I haven't seen before, so we're hoping that people like that.
Hi.
Hi.
Any startup costs or sign-up fees or anything like that?
Nope. Some of the DSPs, most of the ones that work for performance are going to be, or should be, no monthly costs or anything like that. Normally, any fees are baked right into your CPM costs. Obviously, some of the larger DSPs, not really performance-oriented ones that deal with the larger brands like Turn and Rocket Fuel and that kind of company, they have really high monthly minimums and stuff. Yeah.
And nothing in adult?
No adult.
Okay.
100% mainstream. Sorry. There's not transparency on the pricing, no.
Can you give us a ballpark idea? Is it 30% markup?
It's less, significantly less than that. It's in between 15 and 30%, depending on the publisher and exchange.
Do you find that other DSPs have different markups so that you might be able to buy the same impressions for cheaper from one DSP versus another?
Probably. I mean, it's something that each DSP does choose for themselves. So they can do whatever they want with the pricing.
Is anybody creating a transparent pricing model in this space?
I mean, some of the larger ones are transparent, but they're $20,000 a month minimums kind of thing. I haven't seen any transparency on that. Yeah.
We'll wait for that feature.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming. Thank you so much.